Hello everybody, and welcome to another Fundamental Games game playthrough. Today we're going to play a game of 1,000 Year Beard. It's a fuzzy, fun card game, and it's for 1 to 2 players, ages 9 to 1,000, and only takes 15 minutes to play. This game was designed by D.D. O'Brien, and it's actually live on Kickstarter now. Today is August 17th, 2019. Alright, so we have here a nice little beard playmat. I love the art for this dwarf, it's pretty cool. And what happens is each player has a starting card, which is kind of called the stubble side, and that card is represents their character. And their goal is to grow a 1,000-year beard, and basically that's whoever gets to 1,000 points first through a combination of beard cards and coins. So we'll see here I've got on the Tabletop Simulator some rules cards. It talks about the 2-player setup, and you can find those right on the Kickstarter page. But the idea is that you build up your beard with your highest age on the top to your lowest age on the bottom, and you're trying to grow and grow and grow your beard before your opponent. But there's special cards that will impact the game. Cards that can help you groom or pluck or affect your other player's beard as well. And there's a couple other mechanics in there, so I'm not going to read through them all. You're welcome to read through them in the rulebook, but we're just going to play through a sample of turns here. So what would happen is each player plays their card, they shuffle their deck, and they get a hand of 5 cards. And so those 5 cards are their hand, and they get to draw back up to 5 cards every turn. And so both players get to do that. Those cards would be within their hand. They wouldn't be face up like I have them now, but this is just so you can see how the game works. Just like so. And within their hand they're going to have a number of different cards. They're going to have a number of beard cards. I'll make those a bit smaller there. Beard cards. They're going to have silver coins, which can be stashed away in their beards and be used for action cards. And they'll have action cards that cost a certain number of coins. So you can see there that one costs 1 coin. Now all the cards here are positioned sideways to make beard placement a little bit easier, but I'll show you how it works. So let's say blue wants to take a turn. Maybe on their first turn they want to start their beard. So what they would have to do is place their card on their character, and it would cover up the lower part of the beard. So now they'd be at 100 points. Now the key here is that you can only play beards or point cards sequentially. So the highest card always goes the highest part of the beard. So let's read that. You play your beard cards overlapping and positioned horizontally, and always in a sequential descending order, with the highest years at the top and the lowest at the bottom. And just make sure there's no special rules there. How to win, yep. So you can always rearrange your cards later once you get some higher cards. So that might be that player's turn, and then they would draw a card to bring themselves up to 5 cards. So now the red player could take a turn, and again on their turn they can grow by adding 1 beard card. They could groom by discarding a grooming card plus the cost in silver to activate that card's special effects. That's kind of like this card here. Or they can pluck. They can discard a card from their hand to draw a new card from their deck up to twice per turn. So maybe on this player's turn, maybe they don't want to play the 75 yet. Maybe they want to play their silvers. So there is a rule here about stashing silvers. You may place up to 4 silver cards on your beard anytime during your turn. These stashed silvers are always the very bottom cards, and you can discard 3 stashed silvers to flip over a face card at the beginning of your turn. So as a free action I can place all 3 of my silver cards, for example. Those are the ones with the 4 silver coins on the sides. And then I could maybe discard a card to draw a card. And then I could say my turn's over because that was my action. So then this player gets to go, and maybe they're going to play their 3 silvers on the bottom of their beard, and their action is going to be to discard a card to draw a card as well. I'm going to go back to the red dwarf's turn, and on their turn they could play their 175-year-old beard, but they can also, at the beginning of their turn, says here, Silver Sorcerer. At the beginning of your turn, before you take any actions, you can conjure beard magic by discarding 3 stashed silvers and flip over your face card. If I did that before I played that, I would suddenly be worth 300 points instead of 0 points. So now this player is already at 475 by discarding their silver cards. And then they would draw 4 more cards to get their hand back up to 5 at the end of their turn. So you got to be strategic and decide when you want to play your cards. So then this player is going to do the same thing. They discard their silvers and they now have, they have their 300 point beard. So that's not their action for the turn though. I might have missed an action there, but their action for the turn, maybe they're going to play their 200 point beard. So you put that there, and that kind of relayers like that. So that's how you can see how the cards get relayered if you get the higher point values. We'll go draw a card at the end of the turn, and we go over to this player's turn. So they have a card here. This costs 1 silver. They don't have a silver right now, so they can't use the comb. But they could play their 175 point card again. So there you go. Oops. A little bit easier if you're playing with real cards, but they draw their card and they end their turn. We'll go over to the blue dwarf's turn, and maybe they want to make this card. If we look at this card, it costs 1 silver. They can discard a silver card from their hand or from their beard, and if they discard that, it shows you here you get to chop and put into the dustpan any 1 beard card. So they could say, you know what, I'm going to put this into your dustpan. So this goes to the corner of the character card, and it's in their dustpan, which is a special zone in the game. And that's their turn. So then they get to draw their cards. Goes back to the red player's turn, and they're sad that they lost that, but they still have other cards to play, so they continue to grow their beard. And so the game will go on like this, back and forth, and different things will happen. There's many different actions in the rules that you can read about, like a clean shave or using the dustpan. And so you're welcome to read about that, but I just wanted to share the general concept of 1000-year beard and how you can have fun with your friends to see who can grow the longest beard the fastest. Thanks for watching this game glimpse of 1000-year beard, and hopefully you have a wonderful time enjoying trying to grow your own.